And I recognize Mr. Carter for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank all of you for being here. I'm sorry to tell you that I represent an area, the coastal area of Georgia. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of tourism. I mean, all we have to offer is the largest national historic landmark district in the United States in Savannah, Georgia. All we have to offer is the beautiful 100 miles of pristine coastline with the Golden Isles. All we have to offer is the Okefenokee Swamp and the land of the trembling earth. So tourism's not really that important to us, I will tell you. We are very proud, as you can tell. Savannah's my home. It's where I've lived all my life. I was born and raised there and intend to live the rest of my life. And I'm so proud of it and so proud of the tourism part of it because it obviously it is a job producer for us. Our economy depends so much on it. So that's why this is so very important to us and so very important to me as well. And I mentioned the Golden Isles, Sea Island, St. Simon's, everything that we have to
Just McNernest.
all that we have to be proud of, and that's certainly important. I want to ask you, Ms. Barnes, since 2013, do you know how many international visitors have come to the U.S.?
Sorry, I believe that there have been it's created 1.2 million American jobs, and Mr. Thompson probably has the exact number, but we have had I'm blank. It's lost in my head.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry.
Mr. Thompson?
52,000 incremental American jobs each year.
Wow. So very important, obviously, to the 1st Congressional District of Georgia that I have the honor and privilege of representing. So thank you for your work. Can you explain to me, Ms. Barnes, how does the partnership model work between Brand USA and how do you equate that marketing specific areas of the United States?
Sure. So I'm going to let Mr. Thompson answer.
Yeah, that's fine.
We deploy resources, Congressman, across 3 major buckets. One is our direct-to-consumer messaging, which is our owned assets that we take to 14 markets around the world. We have an active relationship with the travel trade around the world with 16 offices that we actually have. And over half of our resources are spent in cooperative marketing. That's with us channeling our dollars in partnership with the cities and states all around the country. And again, that's a formula of cooperative marketing that allows us all to extend our resources so that if it's 1 + 1, it equals 3 or 4. If it's 1 + 1 + 1, it equals 4 or 5, 6 or 7. And that's the ability that we bring, mostly because of the economies to scale that we have in the marketing relationships we have with media sources around the world.
So the model that you use, which applies the fees through ESTA and the Visa waiver program, is that better than any other model that you can think of?
Congressman, as for what I know of no other that does not involve tax dollars, or if there are very few of them.
Great.
And I think that's the beauty of this public-private partnership, that it is, in layman terms, as I said earlier, visitors paying to grow the visitor industry, which makes it one of the purest public-private partnerships and allows us all to extend resources to the benefit of the entire country.
Right. You know, not only are we home to all the great things that I mentioned before, but we also have 2 major seaports, the Port of Savannah and the Port of Brunswick, that we're very proud of. And one of the things that we often talk about there is the trade deficit. And I wanted to ask you, Ms. Barnes, in your testimony, you said that travel is America's 2nd largest export. If we didn't have that, would our trade deficit be even higher?
Absolutely. In 2018, we had a travel trade surplus of $69 billion. Without international travel, it would have been the trade deficit would have been 11% higher. So when international visitors come here, they spend money in our restaurants, in our hotels, in retail, and otherwise. That's considered an export. And in the travel industry, it's the number 2 export for the U.S. Economy overall.
Great. And that only adds to the fact, and I certainly would be remiss if I didn't mention that Port of Savannah is one of the few ports in America that consistently has more exports than they do imports. So adding on to that with the tourism, we're doing our part in that part of the country as well. Mr. Bernstein, can you explain very quickly the Safe Web Act's provision that authorizes staff exchanges between our benefits and how it benefits the Commission?
In a nutshell, basically this provision allows the FTC to onboard visiting officials from foreign agencies subject to appropriate security and confidentiality requirements. The benefits of doing that are sort of play out over the long term. It helps a lot to have partners overseas who understand the FTC well and the laws that it enforces. That just helps build trust and helps both agencies on both sides identify opportunities for cooperation and figure out how to navigate it in specific cases.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and thank all of you for your work. As I say, this benefits our district and our country tremendously, so thank you.